Now we go to a familiar face, or one who's become very familiar to as a regular contributor on Sky News and on the Bolt Report for the past year, from the UK. But Adrian Hayes is not tonight going to talk about the news out of Britain. He has a skill that sets him well beyond the reach of most media commentary. Earlier this year, he was lucky to survive an experience on the world's third highest mountain. And he joins us now to tell us more about it. Adrian, welcome to the program. Now, this is a mountain in the Himalayas. Actually, a friend of mine who lived there said, no, Kel, it's the Himalayas. So you can tell me which is correct, if you like. Himalayas or Himalayas, which should it be?
I've always called it Himalayas, and I think most people do. But anyway, but yeah, Mount Kanchenjunga, which is a mouthful in itself, but the world's third highest mountain, which is even harder than K2 and Everest. And I've climbed them both before, twice as just as steep as K2 and twice as long.
OK, how far did you get up the mountain before the trouble began?
I got the summit. We had a grueling climb, 20 hours or so from the top camp, and another 9 hours. We just had an hour break at Camp 4. So 29 hours in total, so pretty exhausting, full stop. But it was just below the summit that all hell broke loose, unfortunately for me.
So, as I understand it, what you had to fall into a precipice, is that correct?
Yeah, a fellow teammate behind me, and he was pretty, I think he was out of it. He tripped on a very precarious traverse, crashed into me, winded me, sent me flying over a ledge. Now, in the process, fracturing my right wrist. I only knew that months later, but also even more importantly, breaking my regulator on my oxygen mask. So I was at 8,560 meters and I lost oxygen. That is a ticking time bomb because, and of course about an hour later, I started to get hallucinations. I was out of oxygen and I started to get what's called a high altitude cerebral edema, fluid on the brain, which is a very, very serious and life-threatening condition. And I actually aggressively just telling him to get down the mountain, all these things, more choice words actually I was using, but basically eventually I passed out and was left for dead, as most people who get haste, as it's called, at that high altitude suffer.
So that would have surely, the deprivation of oxygen would have eventually killed you. Why aren't you dead? Why are you still with us, Adrian?
Yeah, good question, Kel. It's something. I've somehow managed to wake up, completely disorientated, and I was, you get into process. I suppose it's ex-military background, just thinking, right, even though I'm just thinking I'm out of my mind, just getting process, right, how we got to get down. And the reason I'm alive is I managed to get down over the next sort of 36 hours on my own, with suffering horrendous hallucinations. So that's one reason. And, in a small avalanche and a precarious technical climb. The second reason is one gallant Sherpa who saw me coming down. He came up and saw me at 7,600 meters, lying right next to a massive crevasse, and sort of basically rescued me. So I owe him my life.
So he helped you get further down the mountain. How far down did he get you? How did you get to hospital care? How did that happen?
We got down to 6,200 meters, and then from there I got a helicopter lift to Kathmandu Hospital's Weekend Hospital, and then of course treatment back in the UK since I've been back.
When you have that kind of oxygen deprivation, does it do any permanent damage, or do you recover completely?
I hope it's not permanent. I mean, look, it's...
You look okay, I've got to say. You sound okay.
Yeah, and I think that's a mindset thing, Kel. It's, far from going the PTSD route, and my fingers are very... they're still suffering from frostbite. There's my guitar playing has suffered greatly. But, from all my coaching work I've been doing for 20 odd years, rather than going down the victimhood route, look at the gift in every circumstance. I'm alive and celebrating being alive. So bad things happen in life to all of us. And I think that's one of the lasting lessons. And we just got to get in that mindset, just be prepared for it. So fortunately, the haste shouldn't have any long lasting effects, but the fingers and toes will.
Yeah, it looks as though God intended you to survive. So there must be things you've got to achieve in life here, don't you think?
Yeah, look, I mean, doing this adventuring side of things since I was 17 years of age, that 23 years has just flown by. Yeah, I'm obviously still suffering from delusion, but I think next year will be a sort of recovery. I always do a bit of an end of year review myself, and then set my goals for next year. No big things next year, but yeah, you wait till 2027. We're going to do some other things. Not sure yet what they will be.
In other words, you're telling us you are still a serious mountaineer.
Yeah, well, I'm an all-round adventure. I do mountains, deserts, jungles, polar ice caps, the lot. So when the time's right, I'll look and think, well, what do I want to do? But I do. You've got to ask the why. Why are you doing this thing? It's not for sort of social media fame or anything like this. It's my own authentic pursuit of excellence, experience, growth, and all these sort of more deeper things. To be honest.
On that mountain that you had your accident on and nearly died on, K3, have people died on that mountain?
Oh, K2, K2, yeah. Many people have died on K2. That's sort of getting near to about 90 or so, and about 450 summiters. Kanchenjunga has got probably the lowest success rate of any of the Himalayan big mountains, and a pretty high fatality rate as well. Many people on that mountain, people die of exhaustion, cerebral edema, pulmonary edema, all these things. It's not from avalanche or rock falls. That's why they die, because it's such a brute of such a long summit attempt and a descent as well.
Okay. Quick final question. Did anyone die on that trip you were on?
Yeah, a French woman tragically died. She didn't get to the summit. She died on the way down. So I would have passed her body on the way down. But sadly, these things happen, and it's a tragic occurrence. But I'm just finishing off. I'm lucky to be alive and looking for the gift in every circumstance.
Adrian, we are glad you're alive. We love your reports from the UK, and we will see you all through 2026. Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks, Kel, and Happy New Year to you all.
And to you too. And there you are. What an amazing man. Adrian Hayes. He will be back next year in 2026 reporting on the amazing things that are happening in the UK. One of the most unpopular prime ministers they have ever had is there at the moment.